All right, hey, what up, guys? Again, Eric here. Last video was on the nutrient calorie tool, how we use it to inform our nutrition selections and choices. Today, we're gonna talk about tricky foods and where they go, so you can get a little leg up on how do I know where this food goes, what category, what servings, how do I classify it, okay? So a quick review, nutrition matters more than calories. We're looking at 4 food groups. We're looking at nutrition high and calorie low, nutrition high and calorie high. Those are our preferred food groups. Then we're looking at nutrition low, calorie low, nutrition low, calorie high food groups. Those are our less preferred food groups, okay? Some common questions I get are things like, where does dairy fit in? Okay, dairy is a sugar. Dairy, if you've ever heard the word lactose, lactose intolerant, lactose is the name of the sugar molecule that is in dairy. And any word ending in OSE, lactose, glucose, sucrose, fructose, those are all sugars. So dairy is a sugar. When dairy is made available in stores and has a shelf life, they pasteurize it. Pasteurizing dairy removes the fat from dairy, which makes fat is what allows food to go rancid or have a shorter shelf life. They remove the fat and they add in sugar. This therefore makes milk even more sugary and less of a protein or a fat or whatever other macronutrient you want to call it. So dairy is a no-go. Now there are 2 exceptions to this dairy no-go rule that I have. Exception number 1 is fermented or full-fat dairy. Okay, if you can get your hands on like a good Greek yogurt that's full-fat, non-sweetened, no added ingredients, it's a great tool. If you can get your hands on full-fat milk, non-pasteurized preferred, it's a great option. Those are hard to come by. The second exception to this are things where the portion sizing is done for you, okay? So the 2 things I like are string cheese because it's packaged and portioned for you. It's very hard to overeat. It's also not palatable enough that most of us will just like go hard on the wine and string cheese, if you've ever heard of that. I haven't. Then the other option that's along with string cheese is grated or shredded Parmesan. Also really hard to overeat, okay? That's dairy. Dairy falls into N-C+. Nutrition low, calorie high. High calorie density, low amounts of trade-off for the nutrition it provides for skin, nails, hair, hormones. Okay. Another common one are like breads, starches. Like there's some lack of clarity around starches. Breads fall into category 3 here, N-C-. That's low calorie, low nutrient. Beans, pastas, rice, all of them fall into that same category. Now, we have heard a lot of people in this vegetarian movement, and I don't have any problem with vegetarians. I'm pretty much as close to a vegetarian as you can get. I still eat fish, but the problem I have is that this concept has come up that things like beans or quinoa or lentils are sufficient as nutrient-rich foods, and they are not. You have to eat them in such huge volumes or quantities to get the same amount of nutrition that you could get from broccoli or green beans or spinach or cauliflower, that the trade-off is absolutely not worth it if you're looking for body composition goals. They are not standalone nutrient high foods. They are starches, carbs, they're fuel, they're gasoline for your car. You use it when you need it or when you've earned it. You don't use it as a motor oil, as a lubricant, as a long-term longevity nutritious source, okay? So let's just get that out of the way. Now, they certainly have a place. Everybody gets 1 serving per day, God-given right to a carb. Above that, you need to earn it through having more exercise, either through the form of walking or through the form of working out. In this category here, we get a little confusion from time to time, which is the nutrient high, calorie low, nutrient high, calorie high, which is what fruits fall into which category. Your nutrient high, calorie low fruits are your berries, and that's it. Berries. Blueberries, blackberries, cherries, strawberries, raspberries. Every other fruit falls into the nutrient high, calorie high, and this is because foods that are high in nutrients and low in calories tend to be classified by having a lot of fiber or a lot of water in them to give them more weight but less calories. Fruits that we just talked about that fit into the calorie high serving or the calorie high section tend to have more sugar and less fiber or water than other fruits. So they're more calorie rich to compensate for their nutrient high quality, okay? So we just want to be wary of too much fruit, which is you're limited to really berries in your nutrient high, calorie low classification, and all other fruits fall into the N+ C+ category. I think those are the most common ones. Obviously, alcohol is not confusing. It goes into N- C+. It's totally a treat. The trick here with treats is we want to start tracking your treats so that we know how many we're getting per week. Somebody who eats 40 treats per week does not have to go down to 0 treats per week to lose weight, to get better body composition. All they have to do is go down to 30, maybe even 35. And then what happens is every time your weight loss plateaus or your fat loss plateaus, you cut more out if you feel like your quality of life is still good. You stop cutting out treat foods when you feel like your quality of life no longer is warranted. The sacrifices in your quality of life are no longer warranted by the speed or the quality of your fat loss. Does that make sense? So you don't have to eliminate food groups, and we're never going to do that here. Now, we are going to talk about things like out of sight, out of mind, and we'll talk about that in the next video. But right now, just framing this is we want to know how many treats you're eating, and I'm not going to tell you to cut things out, and I don't want you cutting things out till you have identified how many treats you're eating. Hope this was helpful. Again, send comments, questions, problem food groups to me so we can label them, and we'll use this as a whole, share all this information with everybody. Thanks. See you on the next video.